admit it. What I'm doing to myself is wrong. I need to end this now. I'm gonna let original Andy go, and it's Andy Prime. I'm gonna let Andy Prime go, and I'm just gonna go back to my spaceship in the future and forget all of this. What do you think? Andy, come out here. Yeah? Yeah, I love you too. You're... Whew. That was amazing. You know what? I love you, future me. And you can keep teaching the class. I don't need it. Really? You're going to let me continue teaching the class? That's awesome. Hey, how about that? He knows he's going to teach it in the future. That was the best kiss I've ever had. I'm in love. What can I say? I finally found somebody that's great for me. Me? Who could top that? Nobody. It was meant to be. You guys just witnessed true love in the making. You know what is not true love, maybe though? Our APA style reference pages, which is what I want to talk about right now. Now, to be perfectly clear, our class doesn't exactly use APA formatted papers, right? Like there's no title page, there's no abstract. I don't put the rotting head at the top. Because our papers aren't that long. It's not that important to be that super formal and strict about it. However, I want to use APA style on the reference page and in our in-text citations. And I noticed lots of students had trouble with this. So here we are. Okay. So first, let's talk about your in-text citations, shall we? First of all, if we're doing a direct quote, if a quote has less than 40 words, you just put quote, 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 end quote, and then after the end quote, you put the in-text citation. If it's more than 40 words, you need to start a new line, indent it. It's called a block quote. Then you put the quote, and then at the end of the quote, you put the in-text citation, and then you start a new line, and you get rid of that indent. And you go back to your regular paragraph. So, the in-text citation, what does it look like? Name, date, that's the most important thing. Now, family name. In English, we normally use first name, last name. Right? And so if you see two words of a name together, the second name is usually the family name. But if there's a comma in between them, then the first name in order is the family name, right? So if it says Andrew Lasher is cool, Andrew is my first name, Lasher is my family name. But if it says Lasher, comma, Andrew is blah, 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 Lasher is the family name. If we use a comma, the family name comes first. So when you're making your references, choose the family name, not the given name. Okay, so the most basic way that we do it is family name date, Lasher, comma, 2020, or whatever the date is. I noticed a lot of you are putting no date, and then I click the reference and there's a date. Don't do the work properly, please. But anyway, that's it. If there's also a page number, we put last name, comma, year, comma, P, dot, space, number 44. Or if it's more than one page, we put PP dot, space, 44, hyphen 45. Something like that. So, it will look something like this. Family name, comma, year. That's it. If it's from a page number, family name, comma, year, comma, page number. That's it. So now if there's no date, what do? We sub in N period D period. That's it. Make sure there really is no date first. And remember, if there's no date, no author, Probably not a great source, right? Okay, so we got that. What if there is no author? Then what do we do? If there's no author, we use quotation mark, the title, quotation mark, comma, year. If the title is long, we don't want to use that much. Use the first couple of words that will identify it as that specific reference. You know, you can use 3 words or whatever, it's fine. Okay, the citation should come after the material referenced. Unless you're referencing a bunch of material and you put the name at the top. Lasher, and then you can just put the year in there because my name is outside. Lasher 2020 states that blah, 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 blah. Like that, that's fine. Okay. If you are using a direct quote and you don't have a page number because it's online or something, use the paragraph number. That's it. Paragraph 5, whatever it is. Okay. If you are using a YouTube video, is a YouTube video a good source? Maybe, but often not. If you are using a YouTube video, if you have the YouTuber's actual name, you want to use name and date. But if you don't, you use screen name and date. That's simple, right? Okay, moving on to the reference page now. You can use the citation machine to make your references, but it often makes mistakes, so you need to know what a good reference looks like. And a good reference is always name, date, title, publisher, or URL. That's it, right? If there's no date and no author, it's going to be weak. But so, if we're using a book, we use author's family name, comma, initial. So for me, it would be Lasher, comma, A, period, space, year of publication, 2020, period, book title, How to Be the World's Greatest Professor, period, location, Incheon, South Korea, period. That's it. Now, if we have more than one author, we just put a comma after the initial and then we make a list. Lasher, comma, A, comma, Kim, comma, H, ampersand sign, end sign, skank, comma, A, and then year, and so on and so forth. Pretty simple, isn't it? Good. Now, if there's a corporate author, like we're using the government text or something like that, we can use the corporate author from the WHO or whatever, or from the IRS. You can put that in the front. WHO, period. 2020, title, coronavirus, blah, 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 something like that. Publisher, so-and-so, New York, right? All right. Next one. Article in a periodical. Not many of you use them, but just in case. Again, name, initial, year, title of the article, period, title of the publication in italics. We can see it up there. The volume number, the page numbers. Then retrieved from blah, 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 blah. For online retrieval, DOI or web address is fine. Most of you, this one, online source, name, comma, initial, Lasher, comma, A, period, 2020, world's greatest professor, period, retrieved from www.andrewlasheristhegreatestprofessor.com. Easy. Now, if there is no author name, we put the title of the web page, right? The title of the web page is shown in the top of the Chrome tab. We use that, and then we use the year of publication, and then we use the entire website name if it's different, and then we use retrieved from blah, 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 blah. Okay, one more. YouTube. YouTube is still, it's all basically the same. Name, date, title, publisher, location. Location, publisher, excuse me. So what do? If we know it, Lasher, comma, A, period, then we use brackets and we put the screen name in there. Best professor, period, date, 2020, period, video title. Why I am the best professor. Sorry, it's getting boring, isn't it? Then we use brackets again, video, name of website, YouTube, and then URL, HTTP, blah, 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 blah. Good. If we don't know the uploader's real name, we just use the screen name as the author name. That's perfectly fine. But remember, we always want to be as specific as possible. So we want to use the real name if we have one. If not, we use the screen name. All right? Does it make sense? Pretty complicated, isn't it? The key point is use the citation machine, but know if it looks correct or not. Because I see a lot of people putting really weird stuff in there, and I'm not actually going through every reference and checking to make sure it's exactly correct, because who has the time? But if I look at it and it's clearly wrong, then I check. So do the best you can do. We're going to do fine. Let's have good references. Let's have good in-text citations. Let's have good essays.